Hey guys, so making this video to it's pretty much just a warning video. I don't really give warning messages or videos like that unless I'm like led to, and this is like probably like the second one. So I had a dream this morning around like 3 something, woke me up. I didn't really know what was really going on, and then eventually later God revealed and explained, what was the meaning of the dream and everything. So the dream itself was basically there was something I was watching, and it was opening up doorways for demons to get into this room. I was in like this really big house, and I remember I started getting uncomfortable just going in the room, just going near the room in general. And somehow, with whatever I was watching, I felt and realized like the shadow of death was like following me, kind of like haunting me in a way. I remember there was 2 people also in the house. Now these 2 people I know in real life, but I ain't seen them since high school, so I'm just gonna say A and B. So A and B are in the house with me, and they're chilling in my house when for some reason I need to go into the room to, I guess, get something, but I was scared. So I went to the room and I said, and every single spirit in the name of Jesus, come out. Instantly, like a flood of spirits just go past me coming out the room. I mean, it was just like a whole bunch of them and everything, and they were all like gray looking. So I said it again, the name of Jesus, come out, and more keeps coming out the room and everything. And lastly, the last spirit that leaves out was a black spirit. It wasn't gray, it was just black. And I knew that was the spirit of death, or the shadow of death that was like following me, haunting me in a way. So all the spirits in the room that left out now all are in the living room, just like floating there. So I'm running back to the living room like, hey, look. So he's looking, A and B are also looking, and then all of a sudden they just leave out the house. So I decided to look back to the room where I just came from. I realized the whole time beforehand it was like a haziness in the room, like this. It wasn't clear. It was kind of darkish. It was just this blurry-ish look. But now it was bright. It was clear. It was just very easy to see everything. And I never knew this whole time that's how it was supposed to have been originally. But without them spirits there, it was just, freaking hazy. So after all that, A and B come up to me and they're just like, oh, this can't be true and everything. How can demons, basically they're saying how they can't bother us by what we watch. And then for some reason, like, I fell to the floor, and then Joe holds me, and then, I wake up. So I'm just like, okay, that's a little weird and everything, what's going on, what does this mean and everything. So eventually God reveals to me, he's like, A and B represents the typical Christians that's on this earth. Majority do not believe that what they watch will affect them. Sin is in so many shows, movies, and videos, but somehow people have started to believe the lie that, just because it's entertainment and they aren't physically doing it, then it's okay. And I'm not just talking about TV shows and them that, I mean from YouTube, Instagram videos, Facebook videos, Snapchat, whatever videos, whatever your eyes looking at and everything. How we see sin and we rejoice with it and everything, and we be like, oh, that's my show, that's this, that's that, and everything. But it's okay, don't be so deep as a person, because nothing's bothering me. And it's just like, okay, you have our favorite show, and in the show, the main part of the show is basically the person just kills people all the time. They're a very intelligent dude and everything, smart, but they kill people just to be doing it. And you're just like, yo, that's my show, da da da. And it's just like, okay, your hype about a show, about a person who is going around killing people, and everything. But because they're so smart and they do it so great and well, and they're this terrific teacher that do this and this and this, you don't really see the big deal of it because you're not killing yourselves, right? And everything. I mean, hey, you're not killing them yourself, but we're still rejoicing of the sin. We're still sin entertainment and everything. Like, if we look back in the Bible days or anything like that, could we see, you know, Peter, John, Paul rejoicing over sin? You know, no, we wouldn't. But what's the word? Like, our brain has been seared so much to the point where we see sin, but it's like we rejoice over it. But then also we rejoice over certain sins. Now, we start to, for some reason, think certain evils are above other evils. Like a show that's promoting lying, you know, or a show that's promoting adultery and cheating and all these other things. Oh, we'll love it quickly. And we'll be like, you know, oh, that's my show, and, you know, oh, girl, you better do this, or that boy, blah, 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 blah. But then we see a show promote homosexuality, and we just like, oh, that's disgusting. No Christian on earth should be watching that, blah, blah, blah. Why? They're both promoting sins, but you're now choosing, in your eyes, what's worthy to be called evil and what's lesser evil. And not my book, when I read the word, evil is still evil. The same way those liars and adulterers not making it to the heavens, the same way the homosexual not making it to the heaven. So why are we choosing which stuff that we think is okay to see because it has a lesser sin? And it's not, as long as, you know, it's not bothering our minds or anything like that. Oh, we good, and, you know, we can still entertain by blah, blah, and it shouldn't be the case. So, back to the meaning. A lot of people's houses have a certain atmosphere that they won't be able to notice because of what they watch sets the atmosphere. And this goes back to that room I was telling you about beforehand. It was hazy and fuzzy-ish looking and darkish and stuff like that. But as soon as the spirits left, that's when it became clear. I didn't know at the time that room was that dark and everything, or was supposed to be so bright, until the spirits left, until it was revealed, like, hey, these are gone. This is what the room really looks like. And the same way music sets the tone for the atmosphere, you know, you playing love music, you gonna be wanting to love somebody. You playing shout music, you gonna want to shout. You playing sad music, you're gonna be sad, stuff like that. The same way music sets the atmosphere, the same way what we watch sets the atmosphere as well. So the last part, the shadow of death, that represents physical and spiritual death. Now, this spirit is actually following a lot of Christians, and they don't even know it. They are physically getting attacked because of what they allow their eyes to see, as well as spiritually, because now they can't discern very well, and they can't see the enemy working. And I can promise you, me and Jill have been through this part before. There's a time where we allowed a lot of mess up in our place, all because of the TV and stuff like that. And next thing you know, we are constantly going to the emergency room about something. The crazy thing is, the doctors couldn't pinpoint nothing was wrong. Nothing was wrong. I mean, they gave medication and be like, okay, we'll take this, but we really don't see what's wrong. You know, everything's perfectly fine. Every single time we kept going, everything's fine, everything's fine, everything's fine. And it hit us, this is spiritual. What are we doing that's affecting our bodies to the point where we gotta keep going to the emergency room for something? And guess what happened? As soon as God revealed to us what was going on in the household, what we were bringing in and stuff like that, as soon as we stopped those things and let it not enter in the house no more, all those physical ailments stopped as well. That's why when I made a post, you know, I think it was like a few weeks ago, about, you know, a lot of people who are sick, who are taking these medications, etc., they're not getting healed because it's not the medications that are going to heal them. This is a spiritual sickness they really have, but it's manifesting physically. And that's why these medications are not going to work until you ask God to show you, okay, what is going on? Why am I really going through all this stuff? And He will show you, look, It's what you bring it in. It's you doing this, it's you doing that, blah, blah, blah. Now, for a lot of sickness, it is physical. Like, we got a lot of physical mess because of sin. But for other things, it is spiritual because of what we are allowing into our bodies, into our eyes. The eye, opens up for the light and everything. What we allow in is actually hurting us physically, and we don't even know it. So then we're taking medications that's even hurting us more because we don't really need the medication, and we keep getting worse and worse and worse. And that's exactly what's happening in our household until it was shown to us what was going on and how these certain things need to stop. Once those things stop, boom, things start getting a whole lot better. So after all this, the first thing that pops in my head, he's like, my people perish for lack of knowledge. I'm just like, that is true. We do die for lack of knowledge. And he sent this urgent warning. He was like, be careful, be very, very careful with what you watch. If I, as in God, not me, if I, God, wouldn't approve of it, then why should you, my child, approve it as well and say it's entertainment? And he was like, warn the people. So I don't know what's about to happen or anything like that, but all I know is I'm here to warn. Watch what you watch. Watch what you allow into your eyes, into your homes. I promise you, as soon as we actually, humble ourselves and seek his face, like, okay, God, show me what is going on, what's with this show, what's with this movie, what's with this YouTube video, etc., etc., etc. He wants to show us what's going on. I know for me, in the beginning, I went through it. I'm just like, dang, but I really like this. It's why we gotta get rid of this? But then he was showing me like what was going on behind it and everything. And just like, what? At the end of the day, I don't want to, be doing what my flesh wants to do. That's what entertainment is doing, is pleasing our flesh. Yeah, most of it is pleasing our flesh. And we're not supposed to please our flesh. How come we're supposed to kill our flesh for everything else, except when it comes to what we watch? Then when it comes to that, we are allowed to please it. Anything else, you can't please your flesh. You got to crucify that flesh. You got to crucify it. Unless it's involving, some movie, TV show, YouTube video, Facebook video, whatever, then we can share it quickly, laugh about it, talk junk about it, blah, 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 blah. And it's just like, we gotta stop doing it. We gotta stop being hypocrites. If we want to kill our flesh for everything else, for other sins, we gotta do the same thing for this. We gotta do the exact same thing. And he led me to a verse on 1 Thessalonians 5, verse 22. Abstain from all appearance of evil. He didn't say some. He didn't say the ones that you think are a lesser sin or something like that. From all appearance of evil. We need appearance, though, using our eyes to see the TV shows and movies, videos, whatever. Abstain from all appearance of evil. Point, bottom line.